Tennis improvement is normally slow. It can take hours to perfect one piece of technique. In this video, I'm going to be sharing 5 tennis hacks that are going to improve your tennis quickly without being too difficult to do either. This is really uncommon for tennis, as we all know, so listen up because we want to be making sure that we can use every single one of these. I've coached hundreds of tennis players in person and online, and we found that these 5 things give the best results for the shortest amount of time and effort. So let's just get straight into it. Hack number 1, one that's going to instantly improve your tennis, is filming yourself while you play. And this is probably the best one for anyone who hasn't done this before. And I'll tell you why this can improve you so quickly. When you're in that first person view all the time, you can only base it off your feeling. It's kind of hard to see yourself as you hit every ball. But once you film yourself and get that third person perspective, you finally come to terms with the fact that you're actually not doing what you think you're doing, okay? You're not bending your legs enough. This is a massive one for anyone, but especially anyone who hasn't filmed themselves before. A great way to go the extra steps when you get this recording is to, 1, compare it to a pro player that you feel like you have a similar style to. So you can put your pro player up on one screen, put your own video up on the other screen, and you can try and play a game of spot the difference. See what they do that you don't, because that's the difference in the shot. And then the next step after that is getting help by a qualified person or a coach like myself. If you don't have anyone to do that for, hit the link in top of the description. It's a school community where you can send me through your video and we can talk about how you can improve with your tennis. Regardless of what you do after you film, just seeing your recording is a massive unlock for your skill. You'll be able to see that you're not getting low enough, or you'll be able to see that your contact is not in front of you, and you're going to be able to make those changes by having that visualization of what it looks like in your head. You can actually see it from that third person perspective. All right, hack number 2 is shot selection, being able to choose which shots to hit and when. And I'm not just talking about forehands or backhands, volleys or slices, anything like that, but also where you're placing those shots as well. This is really easy to learn. It's like doing some homework for an elementary grade test, because most of the time it's fairly simple. It's just a lot of people don't know it, and so make some pretty egregious mistakes on the court. Shot selection isn't very complex. Most of the time it's just understanding when to go cross court, when to go down the line, when to run around your forehand, and things like that. So go out there, get some basic strategy advice, get some basic shot selection advice, and then start winning more matches and feeling better with your technique on the court. Hack number 3, and this is probably the most important one for most tennis players, and that is to move your feet more. It's that simple. Footwork is probably one of the, if not the most important parts of tennis, and not using your footwork properly is what leads to so many errors for most amateur tennis players. Now, it wouldn't be much of a hack if I just said to improve your footwork, but there's one really simple thing that you can do in your matches that are just going to improve your shots in general. And that is moving in between shots. So as soon as you've hit the ball, you don't just stand there and do nothing. Or when you're recovering, and after you finish recovering, you don't just stand there in the middle of the court and do nothing. While you're waiting for that ball to come back from your opponent, move a little bit, take a couple steps, and make sure you're split stepping as they hit the ball. This is going to make you so much faster on the court. It's going to make your technique so much better, and it might be a bit tiring for the first few times that you try it, but getting used to it will mean that you're able to level up your fitness and level up your footwork. So make sure that you're taking those extra steps in between shots so that you can easily get to the balls and do the proper technique and execute on your proper technique every single time, instead of being out of position or behind the ball. Now, hack number 4 is a technique-specific hack that's going to help you on your serve with your toss consistency. What I see a lot of players do is that when they're tossing the ball, their toss is normally all over the place when I first start working with them. The way you can dial your toss in, a really easy way to do it, is to make sure that you're not spinning your toss as it moves up into the air. So when we're tossing, we want to be making sure that as it moves through the air, there's no rapid spinning, and it's only either rotating once or twice, or it's completely still as it lifts through the air. What happens when you spin the toss is, 1, you add extra downward force onto the ball when you're actually striking it. But two, the kind of technique that produces a spinning toss also produces an inconsistent toss. So when a toss is spinning, that's normally because as you're tossing, you're rolling the toss off your fingers. You're like flicking it off your fingers to make sure that you're getting enough effort and enough height on the toss by doing this extra flick, which is going to get you a little bit more height. But the thing about the toss is it doesn't really need to be that high for most of the time. And the second thing is that when you do this flick, often you're flicking it behind yourself or you're flicking it to the left of yourself. And a lot of players start flicking the toss all over the place because it's an inconsistent technique. You can't do this perfectly every single time. Instead, you can more easily just lift the arm perfectly every single time. So when you're doing these little flicks and there are the tiny micro adjustments every time you do it, your toss is going to be super inconsistent. And then the quality of the toss is also not going to be great because it's got a bunch of spin on it too. So make sure instead of flicking with your fingers like this, you're bringing the toss in and then you're just moving your arm up. This movement by itself is normally enough for the toss to get as high as it needs to be. The toss is not a toss, it's really a place. So as soon as we move and lift our fingers, all right, we're opening them like a flower petal, all right, we're essentially placing the toss wherever we want to place it. If we're flicking the toss wherever we want to place it or toss it, then it's going to have all this extra movement that doesn't need to be there. So make sure that you're not flicking your toss, and you'll be able to tell by the fact that your toss is nice and still as it moves through the air. So tennis hack number 5 is making sure that you are breathing out or grunting after every shot. Now, people hate this, all right, because no one likes the really loud grunters on the tour. Fine. But the thing is that the reason why people grunt is because they're trying to breathe out as they hit a shot. Okay. Now, chemically, this does a bunch of stuff with your oxygen in your body. So that's one thing. The second thing is that it actually helps you with your rhythm and makes sure that your timing is correct on all of your shots. And I feel like this is a very underrated aspect of grunting or breathing out when it comes to hitting your shots. Now, the reason why we want to grunt, most players like to grunt, is because they want to be able to get trained on breathing out. So if I'm grunting, then I can hear when I'm breathing out. And so then I can tell, oh, was that before my shot or after my shot? If I'm just breathing, often it can be a little bit hard to tell. So if I'm with my coach, they're not going to be able to tell. Even by myself, I'm not really going to be able to tell. But if I'm grunting, then that breathing out is just more accented, and so I can hear it. Even a small grunt that you hear just to yourself, all right, is going to help you with your timing. And it's also going to make you able to recover from that shot, from the movement of that shot, way better. The same way that you need to breathe properly in a gym set. Now, a bonus hack, hack number 6, is probably the best one if you've never done it before, and that is getting coaching on your tennis. So many people try to be self-taught for years and get improvements that would have only taken them months with coaching. So hit the top link in the description. It's a school community filled with like-minded tennis players where you get access to courses and my coaching, where you'll be able to improve fast, like so many other people have. Don't get left out. Start getting coaching today, and I'll see you in the next video.